So, how was your weekend?
Oh, pretty good. Julie and I took the kids out to the Cape for some whaling.
Whaling.
Yeah, you know. Whaling. It's really great. They give you your own spear and everything. We were thinking of going again over summer break, but the kids got a little upset.
How could you do that to a poor defenseless animal? Don't you realize how intelligent whales are? Whales are able to communicate with one another and live together in pods as a group. Different pods even adapt to their environment to survive. I mean, you may as well be murdering another human being.
Are you serious? You and all the rest of you American thinkers have to bring up this same argument every time. Well, we don't exactly share the same set of principles as you over here in Japan, and we treat whales over here as we do any other highly beneficial commercial entity. Sure, we shouldn't hunt them to extinction, but as long as the numbers stay healthy, I say let's just enjoy ourselves.
How can you be exactly certain of how many cute little whales are swimming out in the ocean right now? Do you have some form of tracking device attached to every whale to ensure that the species is remaining strong and healthy? Are you going to ask the whales to stick to the buddy system and take a head count every 5 minutes to make sure everyone is still swimming safely?
If that's your case, can I ask you why the whaling ban was put into effect in the first place?
Of course. The ban on whaling was put into effect because monsters like you were overhunting the whales and the population of whales all over the world plummeted drastically.
So, you're telling me that there were no moral implication behind the ban that was put into effect? That because not enough whales were filling out their census forms, was the only reason that we put the ban into effect? 3. If so, then I'm pleased to inform you that whale numbers have skyrocketed in the past years, and there is more than enough for the species to exist without serious backfire on reproduction if the ban is lifted.
That's a terrible way to look at it.
Well, I think it's a terrific way to look at it.
How can you say that? The methods in which you participate are incredibly cruel and abhorrent to society. You chase down the whale for extended periods of time, causing a great psychological toll on the defenseless creature before the poor thing is inhumanely killed anyways. Doesn't that kind of remind you of your typical modern-day horror film?
That reminds me, I should rent the new Scream movie soon.
You're sick.
Oh, please. I will have you know, we have been working on a new project here in Japan that can almost ensure that whales will be killed quickly and in the most humane way possible. In fact, some people say that it's even more humane than your typical slaughterhouse for cows or chickens.
Oh really? And what would this magic procedure for humane killing be?
Get this, explosive-tipped harpoons.
I've read about these. Would these happen to be the exact same harpoons that have promised to be more humane and kill on the first strike, yet when tested on moving targets, a skilled harpoonist would land an instant kill only 70% of the time?
All of the kinks will be worked out in version 2.0.
What's the secret behind version 2.0?
My opinion? More explosives. But this is beyond the point. One of the most important aspects to consider is that whaling is a part of our culture here in Japan, as well as other cultures around the world. Until the ban was put into effect, it was as much a tradition as it is to eat rice with chopsticks.
Even when the tradition is inherently barbaric. Traditional methods of whaling require that the whale is driven to shore and killed slowly and painfully. In recent years, other foreign traditions have been put to rest for their serious brutality, such as infanticide in China if the firstborn child was a girl, or slavery in America. Would you say that such traditions as these should survive today, even with such devastating repercussions?
In America, much of your population would agree that deer hunting is enjoyable, correct?
Correct.
And they would most certainly say that in some families, driving out to deer camp, enjoying the outdoors, and finding peace with nature would be considered tradition, yes.
Yes.
In some cases of deer hunting, the animal is able to escape with a mortal injury, only to die alone in a field writhing in agony. In other cases, the animal may receive a non-fatal wound, and will escape, only to die of infection or starvation, if the wound hampers the individual's ability to perform in the wilderness. And yet, this is part of your culture as well.
You miss a vital point in your parallel that even in a controlled population of deer, they are nowhere near as endangered as whales may be. Deer face many more hazards that kill them off at a far greater rate than hunting, and we are able to regulate the amount of hunting through licensing and seasonal hunting. In other words, we place bans on how many we are allowed to harvest in a given year to protect the population in the event that they may, in the future, become endangered.
In that case, can we not agree upon a common ground on the amount of whales we are allowed to harvest in a given year? In order to make full effect of our resources, why not set whaling to a licensing system, where every year we are permitted to harvest a set limit from international waters, and under no circumstances would we hunt mother whales, providing protection to calves? Under such an agreement, surely we will be able to reproduce the results of deer hunting in America to those of hunting in international waters.
Although this sounds like a rational consensus to a modern problem, we must take into account that there will always be men out there who will continue to hunt for whales even without a license, to benefit their own financial gain. No, I hate to admit that although your proposal sounds fair, we cannot trust the human element of the equation, and the safest course of action is to keep the ban on whaling in effect, and rout the men who continue to disobey the ban to this day.